To all the Tottenham Hotspur Football Club fans, the time has come. The final game of the season on Sunday. Then we can forget about the season and we concentrate on the madness that is going to happen in the summer. It's Friday. It's Paxton Road TV. And it's the preview show. Hello and good afternoon and welcome to Paxton Road TV, where you get all the Tottenham Hotspur gossip, facts, bullshit, and most importantly, your match day preview. And coming up this Sunday, it's the final game of the season at Elland Road, Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur. And joining me talking the game through and talking all things Tottenham Hotspur is the one and only Sam_Spurs for life. Good afternoon, Sam. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Sid. Very well. Don't know why you got that Lucas Moore in as part of your presentation package. Don't want to see that face anymore. But yeah, apart from that, I'm good, man. I'm good.
It's the final countdown. It's the farewell to Lucas Moore. I thought, you know what? We're not going to see him again. We're not going to talk about him anymore. So I thought we'll just leave everyone with that thought, with that picture of Lucas Moura. So there you go.
I thought you said farewell 4 years ago, after 2019. He's been here since then. So yeah, a long farewell tour, Lucas. You should be thankful to Spurs.
Right, we won't go into that. How are we going to sum up this week, man? What's been going on? What is absolute? You know what? You said the other day we're not going to talk about this, but we've not done anything. We're going to do the preview in about a minute. But quickly, what the is going on at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and Daniel Levy? What is happening? What?
So my opinion is this does seem very similar to 2 years ago when we had all the news events coming out about managers and all the rest of it. It seems like the confusion is part of, in my opinion, the Spurs media manipulation of how we're supposed to think. You put these names out there, you get people like Sky Sports to say, oh, we're talking to Julian Nagelsmann. Spurs don't come back out and say, oh, we're not talking to him. They let it run. Then when it actually comes out, oh, well, you know, we were never talking to him anyway. So it's all the media. So it's kind of like trying to offload the media. You shouldn't listen to them, but they want you to listen to them. The same things happened with the Arne Slot thing. Arne Slot, now this is my opinion on this one as well. I think that they probably had contact with him somehow, because he was saying things like, yeah, his next destination was going to be outside of Dutch League. It's going to be outside of final. Yeah. It's going to be outside of final. But they still want to talk to me about extending my contract. That was the alarm bells that started to ring for me. As soon as I heard that bit, but I'm still going to talk to Feyenoord about my contract, then I know something's not right. Then it comes out that to save face for both parties, we were never in contact with Arne Slot, and he was never even thinking about leaving Feyenoord. It was only to discuss about the future. But that's not what he said before. So somebody's lying somewhere. It's part of a game. They're using the media. They're using us to believe what the media says, to be able to manipulate how we think, to gauge eventually who the manager is going to be, such that if we get someone like Brendan Rodgers in, or Ryan Mason, or the equivalent Graham Potter, or whoever it is they get, they can say, well, listen, we tried to get him. We tried to get Luis Enrique. We tried to get Slot. The media were making it bad. They then got deals. That's what's happening at the moment, in my cynical opinion.
And if this rumor is right, it was 6 million get out clause, right? If this rumor is true about, I think it went up to 15 million or 20 million. I'm not too sure. I think it was 10 million for his trainer or something. And Daniel Levy said, no. Why do we always come to this ending where It's almost done. Everyone says it's almost done. I never believed that. It's almost done until it's done. And then it happens. It happens with Grealish. It happened with Maddison. It's happened with other players. Now it's happened with Slot, where everything was agreed and then it was always the money. So with Daniel Levy, it always seems to be money, money, money for whatever reason, whether he doesn't want to pay the extra £1.20p or 99p or whatever. It is what it is. Now, what I think with Slot is what's happened is he's gone to the machine with coins in his pocket, yeah, and he's gone to find the slot, and there's no slot. It's notes, and then he's gone for the notes, and that's not working. And then he's gone with contactless, and he's like, that's not even working. So the slot wasn't working, and that's how it is. But what have I always said to you, Sam?
Yeah.
You lot had this discussion on Talking Points the other day. Until the manager is like that,
Exactly.
Yeah, until he's like that in the stadium going, yay,
Yep.
I don't believe none of this shit. And I tell you what, it's going to get worse.
We know it's going to get worse.
Right?
We know it's going to get worse.
I got my emails yesterday. Oh, you've only got 1 week left for your season ticket. I'm like,
Same.
okay, cool. Then I got a text this morning. Oh, what's the text say? Really exciting text. Let me just read the text. And I'm like, are you not be in that number, renew your season ticket. What number would you like me to be in? Because you seriously don't have a number at Tottenham Hotspur for your manager. So anyway, that's the manager thing ran over. I'm sure we'll do a show on that at some point. But
just have one quick thing on that manager thing. This is what people should understand. When we got Jose Mourinho in, it happened within 48 hours.
Yeah.
Manager got sacked. We're talking to Jose. Jose was in. When Conte came last time, the November time, when the bearded one was in charge, whoever was in charge, I can't remember now who's in charge because I like to forget about those things. He got sacked. Within a few days, Conte was in. So what I'm trying to say is all the negotiations had already been done. It was just a case of putting them in. There was no stories. It wasn't like it was I know we had the summertime about Conte, but when he wasn't joining us, we didn't hear anything else until the November. All these other stories are all coming out, which means to me, they're using the media for the exact purpose that they did it 2 years ago, to gauge people, but also to be deflective, to say, right, Brendan Rodgers, he's not a bad manager. He's actually quite good, because if you look at all the other people we've been linked to, nobody wants to join us. They've all got these other... Oh, well, we should be thankful we've got Brendan Rodgers.
Absolutely. And he wants that job because he's obviously got sacked at Leicester, so he's probably wants to prove a point that I can manage someone. Or if he just say, you know what, I'll go for the money for 2 years. I don't care.
He's going for the money for 2 years. Because if he says there's no other reason for him to come to Spurs other than to take it. Because he knows, if you look at past history of Brendan Rodgers, we all see what happens to him. He does that. Celtic, he still did that, even though he was winning stuff. Leicester, he's done that. Liverpool, he's done all of that business. You're telling me if he comes to Spurs, all that changes?
No.
He suddenly becomes this great manager that can live and be with us for 5 years and lift all these multiple trophies, when we've seen the best of the best in terms of Jose Mourinho actually categorically say it couldn't happen at Spurs because of the relationship.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's an interesting one, which there's going to be many more sagas, twists, and everything. Yeah, right. So, final game of the season at Elland Road. It's an absolutely humdinger for Leeds United Football Club, because they need to win this game at all costs to stay in the Premier League. And what Big Sam said a couple of weeks ago, when he took the job, it has now come to fruition. He did say, if I'm still in the race for the Premiership and to avoid relegation on the final day of the season, I'm happy, because we're playing Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We've got nothing to play for apart from the Europa Conference League. So it's just a matter of which Tottenham's going to turn up. So let's have a look. Here we go. So as it stands now, Sam, I've took the 1 to 6 out because
I was going to say we're second. Wow.
It's done and dusted. Unfortunately, number 1 and 2, which you said we was going to finish as winners, is not happened. So realistically now, we are fighting for 7, 8 or 9. Yeah. Even Steps sang about 5, 6, 7, 8. Unfortunately for us, it's 7, 8, 9. If Villa win at Brighton, they get Conference League. If they lose, we beat Leeds, we get Conference League. If we lose and Villa lose, Brentford win, they get Conference League. So it is what it is. And at the bottom, as you can see, Leeds have to win and hope Leicester don't win and Everton don't win. So my question to you is, in terms of importance, and I don't know what you're going to say, who's it more important for, Spurs or for Leeds United on Sunday?
Right. Obvious answer, you know the answer is going to be.
Yeah.
But just to touch on what you said, if we look at the Aston Villa playing Brighton on the last day,
Yep.
Both Aston Villa and Brighton can't go up or go down any further. So there's 6, as you rightly said, definitely 6. Nobody can go above them. Aston Villa are definitely going to be in Europe regardless because of where they are, I think, because I say that, it just depends on what happens in the FA Cup and the Champions League. So I don't think they've really got much. Brighton certainly haven't got anything to play for. So I can see Villa winning that game to get their 3 points. Brentford, why would they? It's an off chance, but I don't think they're going to play that hard because they've got to go above us and above Villa. Likelihood is they're not going to do that either. So I don't see them playing. Everton have to win. Have to win. They're playing at home last day of the season. So I think they will. So all depends. If they score early and the things start as it does filter through, it might be that Leeds, we can't actually, because they have, doesn't matter what they do, Everton are the ones that will determine. So yeah, I'm hoping that Everton smash whoever they're playing. Who are they playing? I'm going to have a quick look here, Sid. If Everton are playing Bournemouth. Yeah. And Bournemouth are safe. They've got nothing to play for. So they should win that game, in my opinion, Everton. And they probably will do it quite comfortably. And if they score early, it might dishearten the likes of Leeds. However, if it's tight, they are going to be a nightmare to play against on Sunday. A nightmare.
It is going to be. Either way, it's going to be a nightmare, regardless of what, it's going to be a nightmare because Everton realistically only need 1 point because their goal difference is -24. Leeds are -27. So even if Everton get 1 point, they're 34. If Leeds beat us, they have to beat us convincingly, like a 6-1 or a 7-0 or something like that. Yeah.
You say that like that could be a surprise. I could see that happening. I'm not even lying to you. I could see if they decide that they're going to put it on us and we just decide that, because who's going to care? Who in the Spurs team, if they don't care already, is going to care now? Ryan Mason might care for his pride, but ultimately he's not getting a job as far as I'm concerned, unless something drastically happens in the next few months with us. So he's got nothing to play for. None of the players have got anything to play for because if they get Conference League, they don't really want it. And if we don't get it, well, we didn't try hard enough anyway. So I think we could get a messy scoreline here.
I know. It's it could be a rugby score, couldn't it? Right. They're 19th, we're 8th. They've won 7, we've won 17. 10 draws, 6 to Spurs. Leeds have lost 20 times, we've lost 14. Leeds are bottom of the second to bottom of the league, and they've lost 20 games. We've only lost 6 less games than them. That's madness, isn't it? And the difference. Average goals scored 1.27 Leeds, 1.78 Spurs. Average goals conceded, they're conceding 2 a game. We're conceding 1.68. Clean sheets 5, ours is 10. Chances created 1.08 to 1.65. For the final time this season, Sam, are you really bothered about these stats?
Let me add some more to your stats. We've conceded 62 goals. Yeah. Let me tell you the teams that have conceded more than 62 goals, and then you'll get an idea of where we should really be. So I'm looking down. The next team, Bournemouth, conceded 70 goals. Remember, Bournemouth got a massive cricket score against them. Liverpool or somebody beat them by a cricket score.
9-0 Liverpool.
Yeah. So that would account for them being 70. Or sorry, 70 goals conceded. Nottingham Forest conceded 67. That's only what? Five more than us?
Yep.
67 goals. Leeds conceded 74 and Southampton had conceded 69. So the 3 teams are in the bottom 3, and the other two, 15th and 16th, but they had cricket scores against them. Hence the reason why we should be way down the table, Sid. I don't know how we're bloody in where we are.
I tell you why.
Only because of our goals. We scored.
Only because of Harry Kane. You take away Harry Kane's goals, and apparently we've only scored about 30-odd goals. So that says it all. That says it all.
That's frightening where we could possibly be. Let's say that's the case. I want to move on because I don't even want to talk about this bit. But let's say that is the case. Our goal difference is +4. Let's take away 30 goals or 27 goals from Harry Kane, and let's say they weren't replaced. Our goal difference would have been something like -20 something. We would have been lower than Wolverhampton. Even West Ham have got a -12 goal difference. Leicester have got a -18 goal difference, and they're 18th. City would have been terrible this season.
This is what I'm just alluding to what we could be expecting next season. Yeah, if Mr. Kane decides to leave, just it's just a thought, just putting it out there. Right, head to head, 29 games played. Leeds have won 11. Tottenham have won 12. Leeds have won at 8 times at Elland Road. We've only won 3 times away and 6 draws. We ask this question every week. We get the same answers every week. You know what? I have been to Elland Road. It's not a nice ground to go to when the fans are behind them and when they're on song. That ground is electrifying and petrifying as well. So I'm not surprised we've only had 3 wins away because we got terrible records away. Terrible.
If Leeds have to win regardless, but it's not in their own hands. But their fans, they'll probably be with them all the way through this game. On the odd hope that Everton lose. It's unlikely, in my opinion, Everton will lose, so they're likely to go down. So it depends on what their fans are like. But I would, like you said, them fans. I say horrible. I don't mean that in negative. I mean, I wouldn't want to play in that bloody ground.
Do you know the difference at the moment? Yeah, between what you just mentioned about the fans and playing at home at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or playing at Elland Road. I'll tell you one thing. Marching on together, because they're marching on together. Leeds United, that's their song, and literally they're marching on together. Whereas Tottenham, marching away from each other. So that's the massive difference for me. Their fans will be 100% behind them from the start of that whistle because they will want them. And to be fair, and I totally agree with Sam, if there's one team that you want to play in the final game of the season, this season, it would be Spurs. Let's have a look. Previous 5 games, Leeds lost to West Ham 3-1, drew with Newcastle 2-2, lost to Man City 2-1, lost to Bournemouth 4-1, drew with Leicester 1-1. Spurs lost to Brentford 3-1, lost to Villa 2-1, beat Palace 1-0, lost to Liverpool, lost to Man United. So 3 losses, 2 draws for Leeds, 3 losses, 1 win, and a draw for Spurs.
No comment. There's no comment, is there? We've got 2 more points from them in 5 games. That's relegation form. Exactly. They are in relegation territory. We are basically 1-0. A 1-0 victory could have been a 0-0 because Palace actually could have had a draw out of that game. And you could see what points we could have had. Exactly. It's a horrible lot of statistics, and these players should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah. But I just don't think they are. I don't think they care that much because of all the things that goes with playing for Spurs. It's a gravy train.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Before we move on to the next slide, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Thank you very much. Like I said, it's the final preview show. We'll probably be doing the final reaction show where all hell will probably break loose because Pav will be joining us, Sean will be joining us, and if any of you watching in the comment section wants to come on for the final show of the season, reaction show, we will put a link in there and just come out, let it all out. These are the things we've got to talk about. Come on. I'm talking to you. Come on. Right. Next one. My slides are not working. Oh, my slides have disappeared. Okay. Right. Hold on a second. Let me just come out of this. Okay, so I was going to talk about the team news. Don't know what's going on here. I saw the press conference today, I think it was, or yesterday, and he did say, injury-wise, Romero's out. Romero's not playing. I think he's already on holiday. He's probably thinking, I'm not playing. I'm not interested in this shit. So he's gone. Højbjerg might play a part. As far as I'm aware, that's all he said. Højbjerg might play a part in the game. Don't know what that means, but that's all he said. So,
did he say anything about Hugo Lloris? Oh, we've already been found out that Hugo Lloris is out for the season anyway. So
yeah, we already know he's out for the season. So he didn't mention that. I think he only mentioned Romero and Højbjerg. So saying that, if my team comes up right, so we're going to get Forster in goal, I'm assuming. Emerson Royal at right back. Langley. And then who's going to be your centre half? Is he going to go with Sanchez again?
If Romero's not playing,
it's not an if, it's 100%.
He's definitely not playing.
Yeah.
Then
right. So this is what I thought when I'd done the slides, but then obviously in the meantime I've found out that no Højbjerg and no Romero. So would you put in Sanchez? Well, he did last week, didn't he?
I put Sanchez in more for pace if I was going to do that, but then God.
Sam, there's no choice. Yeah. He's not going to go with Tanganga, so he's going to go with Sanchez.
But what about Dyer? Is Dyer out injured?
He's male. He might come in then.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is between Dyer or Sanchez, for me, it doesn't really matter. This is not a game that I think we're going to be defensively sound anyway if you play forward back. So it doesn't matter if it's Dyer or Sanchez. We're going to concede goals. So who do you pick? I would, as much as I don't want to see Sanchez, we shouldn't have been playing anyway, but Dyer shouldn't be playing either. So one of the two, it's a toss of a coin. I'd say Dyer just for the fact that he's probably a bit more of a leader in the back, but that's about it. Nothing else.
Perisic at left back to come in instead of Davies because Davies didn't have a decent game last week. Højbjerg then will probably be replaced by Skip. Danjuma, I reckon, will start. Kulusevski, apparently, I don't know if you heard or not, but apparently Kulu's going back to Juventus.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so that
could be just a Twitter rumor, but I've heard it.
So I don't know. And then Son and Kane up top. I'm not going to lie to you, Sam. I'm not really bothered who plays on Sunday. I don't really care. For me, they've not given us anything all season. They've just been picking up their wages and playing shit football. So I'm not bothered really who he picks on Sunday. I'm not even bothered how they turn out because for me, it's just a formality. They're just going to pick up their wages and then can't wait. I'd be surprised. In fact, I won't be surprised if 7 o'clock in the evening, they've already got their flights booked to go away on holiday and get away from this country, away from the shit football club that's been going on and the shit that's been happening at the club.
I would imagine some of them are going out Sunday night. You know what I mean? I reckon, sorry, just to pick this thing up here, I reckon that there's not many players in that team that have got anything to prove. Danjuma possibly, because he might want to stay at Spurs. I don't know why he would. Who else is in that team that might want to prove themselves? Forster, possibly. Harry Kane, because he wants to get them goals, so he's not going to down tools now. But he might have a bit of I can't be asked today. I'll get some more goals if he decides to stay at Spurs. But there's nobody else in that team that have anything to prove because they haven't proved it now. So it's whoever wants to play football. It's going to be a very, very scary thought that we could lose that by a lot of bloody goals if we're not careful. Because you remember the Newcastle 5-1.
Yeah.
And we needed to actually do something in that game. We needed to do something in that game, and we didn't. We don't need to do anything in this game, and that's what my concern is. They don't care.
I totally agree. And talking of that, score prediction, Mike. Score prediction. What do you reckon is going to happen on Sunday at 4:30? Are we going to get the Conference League? Are Leeds going to get relegated? Or stay tuned for the next episode of...
I think Villa will win their game. I don't think it matters what we do because I think Villa will win their game.
Do you want the Conference League, though, Sam?
Yeah, I would. You know, the reason I wouldn't is because although it might be more games to play. If you do the Conference League right, you can play the early rounds with some of the younger players or players up fringe players. Because when you're only playing one match a week, we ain't got the FA Cup till January. The League Cup's early doors, so only 3 rounds anyway. So players, if we have got a big squad, which we have at the moment, which needs to reduce, then players are going to be unhappy or not. Sorry, they're not going to be motivated to play. If they've got something, regardless of whether it's a Conference League or a league game, at least there's other games for players to play. I just thought if we don't in Europe, some of the players don't need to be at the club anymore. A lot of players don't need to be there.
And the other thing as well, Sam, and some people when they're watching this later on might agree, might disagree with me, but next season is a West Ham season for us, where we're definitely not winning the league. More than likely, we're not winning any cups. So why not throw, if we do get that Conference League, why not throw all your eggs in that basket and do what West Ham have done? They've got to the final and they could end up winning that damn thing. And
nobody's going to remember that they finished 14th,
no.
3 or 4 points above. They got 40 points now anyway.
Exactly.
So they were still...
Yeah.
We could be exactly the same next season. But if we were to be where West Ham was and not win anything, all hell would break loose, obviously. But if we were 14th, and let's say we won a League Cup, Conference League, or an FA Cup, and it doesn't have to be all 3, it just needs to be one of them, I personally would be like, yay, great season. Because if you're in the Premier League, whether you're 5th or 17th, yeah, you might have a bit of Europe to play for, but there's nothing else. You're getting money regardless.
Exactly. So for me, it could be, you throw all your basket, like you said, bring the youngsters in, put some of them in the early games. When you get to the big games, you bring in, the big guns if we've got any left.
The big water pistols that we'll have. That's what we'll have left, mate. No guns.
Exactly. So, what's your prediction then, man?
I thought he was gonna forget about it.
No,
I'm actually, and I've not done this all season. I've said my usual philosophy is if I give Spurs a draw, that means I think they're going to lose. I think I predicted the draw the last game. We lost anyway. So I think this game, I'm going to say Leeds are going to put it on us. They really will put it on us. And it doesn't matter whether it happens in the other games. Their crowd's going to be with them and they'll probably take them across the line. And I think it's going to be a 3-1 Leeds.
3-1 to Leeds.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But can I give two score predictions?
Go on.
That prediction is based on me thinking team lineup. If he starts just throwing anybody in there because nobody really wants to play, like Romero looks like he don't want to play, even if he's injured.
He's injured, I think, yeah.
Injured. And Lloris is injured. So if these players don't want to play, then it means our attitude's not right with some of the others. And if that isn't the case and we throw in the youngsters, it could be a bit. I'm hoping that we turn up, give it some pride, and then my second prediction is if we've got the right piece in, it'll be a draw, 2-2. So 3-1 or 2-2.
Okay. I watched Leeds the other day. Who did they play the other day? West Ham. And even though they took the lead 1-0, they just capitulated after that. And West Ham just come back from the European semi-final. And West Ham, every time they attacked, it looked like Leeds was going to score. Leeds will have to go for it on Sunday. It's a must win for them because to them, it's like over £100 million at stake. And the fact that they're going to get relegated and, not guaranteed to come back up next season, players are going to leave. So for me, for them, it's an absolute massive game. And I think they're going to go all out attack. They're going to go guns blazing at Spurs. And I think we're just going to pick them out. I think Mason's going to play the counter attacking game. He's going to say, right, lads, they're going to come at us. We'll let them. We'll try and do our job. And don't laugh, but we're going to try and defend, right? And then we've got the players to destroy them on the counter. Because if West Ham did it with Jarrod Bowen and Antonio and that, we've got better players. No, disrespect to a couple of them, but we've got better players than West Ham have. And we should be able to, if they're all firing, absolutely annihilate them on the counter-attack. So I think it's going to be 3-1 to Spurs. Because I can see them coming at us, but I think we'll just be too strong and we'll just sit back and do it.
So what you're saying is that we're going to be defensively strong. Because if they come at us, what you've seen is when any teams come at us, we concede goals. We saw last week, Brentford hardly had the ball, but they had come at us 4 shots on target, 3 goals.
Yeah.
My concern is this Tottenham team's too fragile. If the team puts it on us and they score, it's going to be a domino effect. The cards are going to fall over and everybody's going to just feel sorry for themselves and they can't wait for the season to done. And it will be another Newcastle this year and also 5 years ago Newcastle when we played them at their place and they whipped us a new one.
Yeah.
These doesn't matter if they win or not. I keep saying even if they win, it's not in their hands. So their attitude will be, well, I don't care. We might as well just go out blasting. If that's the case, then it's going to be, or it'll be the other way around and say, oh, we feel sorry for ourselves and the mistakes that we made like this, and they could get beaten by us. But I'm not so sure.
Well, you know what one good thing is going to come out of the game after Sunday is the fact that Cadbury's have approached Spurs for sponsorship because apparently Spurs have the tastiest, crumbliest defense and football team in the Premier League. So we might get an advert out of it, but I think it'll be an entertaining game. It's like I said, it's a must-win game for Leeds, and I think we'll pick them. So it'll be 3-1 to Spurs, in my opinion, and I think Harry Kane will score. Whether that'll be his final goal, I don't know.
I'm going to take back my 3-1 loss. I'm going to put it as 2-2. Let's be positive on this show from me.
I am positive.
Even though that's why I'm going to go positive. 2-2. Desmond.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please make sure you put your comments in. Make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. It's the final preview show of the season. Hope everyone has really enjoyed the preview shows. Obviously, we're now moving over to different Paxton Road TV, a new format, etc., which we'll obviously let you people know. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you subscribe. Stay with us. If you don't want to stay with the team, stay with us because, we will be there.
We'll entertain you.
Exactly, because just say our name, we'll be there. Have a great weekend and make sure you join us for the reaction show whether Spurs win, lose or draw on Sunday, the final reaction show where all hell will break loose. Sam, thank you for joining us. Any final thoughts before I push the thanks button?
I hope that they sort a manager out before I have to renew my season ticket. I'm going to renew it anyway, but it might make a little bit more of a dent on my mentality if we don't have anybody in place next week.
This is it, right?
Ladies and
gentlemen, make sure you're still watching. Make sure you're keeping up to date. We don't know who the manager is going to be. Maybe we might have a manager by the weekend, maybe not. But have a great weekend. Enjoy the sun because it's sun shining really nicely outside. We will see you on Sunday straight after the game. See you later.